Help us save the Michigan Panthers by scanning this QR code and signing the petition today. The Detroit Lions are in day 10 of training camp observations, and this was the second of, I believe, the 3 Lions loyal members' practices. This one was an evening practice. I've never been to an evening practice. I've tried to get tickets to one. There's one more left, I believe, and not a ton of practices in general. I have tickets to 2 more, Wednesday and the 14th, I believe. So those would be my last 2 times to see the Detroit Lions. After Wednesday, they don't come back until next Monday, a week from today. And then I think there's a few more after that. So all I've really been hearing is about the defense. And maybe that's because that's where most of people's attention is at, specifically on that defense, because we got a new defensive coordinator. We've got additions to the defense with Tyreek Williams, DJ Reed, and we got Hutchinson back out there. But it seems like the defense is the apple of everyone's eye. Let's take a look at what Tim Twentyman had to say, once again, coming from DetroitLions.com. Says, dominant defense. It was a pretty dominating performance for Detroit's defense overall Monday night as the Lions held a long and physical night of practice at the Meyer Performance Center. Seems like they always got to say that. Maybe they're paid to even mention it in articles. The defense generated a ton of pressure on Detroit's quarterback in team periods and created a few turnovers as well, from a Jack Campbell fumble recovery, Alex Anzalone interception, and Amik Robertson interception. The defense has looked great all camp, but Monday was a particularly strong day. Again, we have heard it all before. We've heard this all before. I'm really not going to pay attention until the joint practices. We're going up against our own team. They know what's up. The offense knows the defense and vice versa. So when we get those joint practices, that's when I'm really going to be keying in and paying extra attention to that. So that should be something to take a look at even more. Now, we got a new addition to the Detroit Lions secondary, losing Carlton Davis, but gaining DJ Reed. Here's what Tim had to say about that. It says, perfect fit. Veteran cornerback DJ Reed looks to be a perfect fit in Kelvin Shepard's defense. What's been most impressive about Reed is his man cover skills. He's been great in one-on-one reps with the receivers, running step for step with Jamison Williams multiple times to break up passes. Reed is fast and physical, and that's a good combination for that position in this defense. That's right. So he will take over at the number one cornerback position, especially with, we don't know what's happening with Terrion Arnold. We know he was kind of banged up. We don't know the severity of that. We do know that Ennis is probably going to be out a while. So that should be interesting. And to run step for step with Jamison Williams is tough to do. And this is the second time I believe that we have heard about this. So that is fantastic. Now, you know me, I'm high on the D-line, specifically the edge rusher position. Well, there's a guy that you guys have been talking about in the comment section, and it looks like Tim is talking about him as well. Climbing the depth chart. Keep an eye on rookie defensive lineman Keith Cooper Jr. out of Houston. Now, this guy was an undrafted free agent. I remember trying to find some stuff on him, but was able to do so. He's gone from a tryout player to getting some first-team reps along Detroit's defensive front. At 6'5", 280 pounds, he's lined up at just about every position along the defensive line during camp and has made his fair share of plays. Detroit loves versatile players, and Cooper's versatility could ultimately land him a job on the initial 53-man roster out of camp. That is a pretty big deal, because that's going to be very difficult to do, because the 53 is tough, and we're going to have some people that we have got accustomed to seeing and hearing their names. They're not going to make the team, and they're not even going to make the practice squad. Every year, if the team truly gets better, every year, these decisions are going to be more and more tough to make. So Keith Cooper Jr., I believe he was a UDFA. I remember making a video, or at least trying to make a video about him, but some of these UDFAs, it is very difficult to find some information. Well, there is a first round pick that is making a lot of noise, and I've seen this guy. Now, I didn't dislike this pick. I didn't dislike the pick. My frustration with any of the picks comes from the fact that Brad Holmes just sits there on his hands when it comes to a legitimate pass rush for off the edge. It's a fact. He just sits on his hands, but he will go above and beyond for secondary players and interior defensive linemen. And when you have, I got to cue this up because it's very important. When you have the 96th pick in the 2023 NFL draft, Broderick Martin, I don't understand why you continue to take high defensive linemen, specifically in the middle, but BPA, right? And it seems like that this guy is not disappointing. Tyreek Williams and Aiden Hutchinson could be a real problem for opposing offensive lines when they line up next to each other. They had one rep where they pushed the left guard Mahogany and left tackle Giovanni Manu right back into golf for the sack. Maybe a little bit of debate about who got there first, but it looked simultaneous to me. I've seen Tyreek. He is big. It was one particular play off the snap. He was all over, just through the line. Like, it was just boom. He was right on his man. So this guy, I think he's going to be the real deal. But again, I'm not going to rest until we get somebody truly that is worthy of standing opposite Aiden Hutchinson, not next to him, but opposite. We got no problem filling the middle. It is the outside opposite Aiden that I'm worried about. So I cannot wait. I missed the last camp that I was able to go to and dealing with some family things. So I cannot wait until Wednesday. I'm excited. The weather is supposed to be nice. I believe it's supposed to be in the low 70s when camp happens. There's been no rain to drown out camp. So I don't think they've had to cancel any days. And again, after this Wednesday, the 6th, we have a preseason game on Friday, and then there is practice on Monday, and then we've got a few joint practices as well. And then before you know it, the season will be upon us. So just a bit of some injury news. Defensive lineman Pat O'Connor had a leg injury. Wide receiver Dominic Levitt had an abdomen issue, and tackle Jamarco Jones' ankle. They all left practice Monday and did not return. That is unfortunate because if Levitt is hurt and he can't go or is restricted on Friday during the preseason game, or he just can't go, that'll be time for Jackson Meeks to step up and kind of make his case to why he should be on this roster, or at least the practice squad. I do think the Lions are going to go with 6 wide receivers, and it's going to come down between Levitt and Meeks. Right now, I think it's by a wide margin, Levitt, but it could be Jackson Meeks could put his kind of hat in the ring, and then we'll know that Tom Kennedy will be waived and eventually put on the practice squad like he always does. Before we get out of here, man, consider again pausing this video, scanning the QR code, signing the petition. We have over 1,000 signatures. We got less than a month to make this happen, to try to let the UFL know that we want the Michigan Panthers to stay in Michigan. So scan that QR code. A lot of you guys are watching me from the television. I think over 50% of my videos are being viewed on the TV. So pause it, scan it, sign it, do it. Done deal. All right. This channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. It's because of your support I get to do what I do. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. There is no practice, at least open to the public, tomorrow on the 5th. It will resume on the 6th, which is Wednesday. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.